Hey guys, DavidGTR9 here, aka David. Now before we start this video, I would like to mention that this is a new camera. So if you guys don't like the audio or video of this, please tell me in the comments down below. Now, the purpose of this video is to cover the reason that you have a shifter and derailleur for dummies. Not really for dummies, just people who don't know what they are or not into the biking sport or doesn't commute. So these are most commonly found on road bikes, commuter bikes, and mountain bikes. Let's get close to it. Now, what are they for? They're like a car shifting system. How you hear it shift gears when you drive fast or just drive in general. Now, the particular one we're going to be looking at today is a Shimano Tourney. This one is commonly found on a 3x7 shifter. I think there might be other variants of the Shimano Tourney for other gear ratios, and if there is, I'll put a link in the description and even a link to where you can find the Shimano Tourney, and you can also find it stock on some Walmart bikes and even shop bikes. So this right here is one of the best Walmart department store bikes. Department store bikes aren't really good. I'd suggest you go to a bike shop. But department store bikes, if you get one like at Walmart or something like that, please go get it checked out by a bike mechanic to make sure everything's working properly, because the manufacturers of those bikes never adjust everything accordingly. They just try to distribute them among all the Walmarts quickly. Now, what does it do? Well, it's quite easy. The wire here pulls it back, thus doing this, and it also pushes it and brings it outward. Now, let me just flip the bike over really quickly. Okay, and we can see how it functions. So first, let's go into the highest gear, gear 7. We just shifted it with the shifter, and now the derailleur should take action. Now you would see that it goes back. That's to give tension on the chain to make sure that it stays put. If it didn't do that, then your chain would pretty much just come right off. So this part here rises up for the other cogs, and it also pushes it in for the other cogs. And to adjust it, these two screws right here, if you look closely in there, you might see one screw right here where it is blocking that. That's to make sure it doesn't come too far outward. And there's a second screw that makes sure it doesn't go too far inward. Now, those are called limit screws. They're easily adjusted. Don't take them out completely. Don't put them in completely. Adjust them accordingly, or bring it to your local bike shop. This part right here, this is called the barrel adjuster. This adjusts the tension of the wire quite nicely. Then, I forgot what this screw is. You can look at other channels or find out. I think it's called the index setting. I don't know. But these are the only settings that you need to do in order to adjust it good. And this could be used for something else, I don't know. And the front derailleur. Now this is quite more simple. It just comes out and in. And this right here keeps tension. It always comes back. There's always a spring pushing it back a little bit. So yeah. This one, it just goes in and out. That's all it does. It just pushes the chain in and out. There's 3. Now, if you have a 3x system, just think for dummies. Again, when I say dummies, I just mean people who don't know what shifting is. If the innermost part is more used for hill climbing or anything that you have to go slow for or need a lot of torque, the biggest one is for going high speeds, and the middle one is just for normal. I'd like to think of it as hill climber mode, standard mode, and sport mode, and I have my gears back and ready. Now, these shifters like this are most commonly found on department store bikes, where you just twist it. Here's a back derailleur. Oh crap, wait, I gotta put you down first. Let me just... Okay, now I'm gonna shift it once, and you'll see it derail onto the second cog. That's how it works. Quite simple. There is the main spring in there. This bolt right here keeps the wire on, and this little thing here keeps the wire from fraying, and it could hurt you. So there's a better shifter for the shifter and derailleur that I love. This one is also common for Shimano. There's also SRAM, which is like the second most popular shifting system, but I only have Shimano that I have. This one is quite simple. Now the thing is, you shouldn't shift your bike while stationary because it won't shift. The chain can't just move. It needs to be rolling. So, yee. So let's come back over here. So, some bikes might have a 1x drivetrain. A 1x is basically no gears here. Only one gear here, no derailleur here, only one in the back. There's also 2x's that are most commonly used on mountain biking, and sometimes in actually, they're also commonly used in road bike racers with road bike racer parts. Bikes. And then 3x systems, which I love. If you go with a 3x or a 2x, it might be a little bit more complicated, but it gives you a way wider range. Let's see how fast I can get this wheel spinning at highest gear on the biggest cog in the front and the smallest in the back. Yeah. That sounds satisfying. I don't know if you can see properly. Let me see. Trying to angle the camera right now. Good enough. So first let me shift back down to gear 1. And let me stop the bike. Okay. So, a good idea to do. I hate it when I'm in the high gear, I forget to shift down before I come to a complete stop. And then I would have to shift down when I first start moving the bike, and it's hard to pedal. So, when do you shift? That's the question that I get from beginner mountain biker friends. I get some people into mountain biking, they love it. When do I shift? Now, two things. Strength output and RPM. RPM first. Okay, so RPM is how you can feel when you should shift up. If you feel like you're not going fast enough, but you're pedaling way too hard, you have a high RPM. That's like with cars. Your engine is working too hard. That's why it shifts up. So then, if I shift to the highest gear, now we can see strength output. Now, when do I shift down though? It's when you're putting too much strength into the pedals. That's when you should shift down. If you have too much strength on the pedals, you need to shift down. Wait, let me just quickly shift this bike down because I like to start my bike ride with it low gear. So yeah, low gearing, especially for the 3x system, is most commonly used for getting up hills. Higher gears is for downhill and just wanting to go fast, but it could take some energy. Now here's what I hate. I gotta flip the bike back over. I gotta show you this dumb shifting system for the front derailleur. So there's a problem with some bikes. You get on your bike, you're all ready to go, but then you see that there's no numbers on this one for the front derailleur. So how do you figure that out? Well, you look at the front derailleur and you see this going onto other cogs, and when it's completely on there, you're good. But you might do it too much and it might just rub, make an annoying noise. Just make sure it's in between. There's also limit screw settings, and most common, wait, where's the barrel adjuster? That is weird. This bike doesn't have a barrel adjuster? Well, that sucks. I guess you have to unscrew this and then pull it. But some bikes, the barrel adjuster can be found at the back. Some can be found at the front, like right here, like with my brake. But there's none for this. For my bike, my main mountain bike, these barrel adjusters on both ends. Here, this one's for the shifter, this one's for the brake, this one's for the brake, the barrel adjuster's in the back. And this one has numbers. But that means you have to adjust it it's way harder to adjust. So this one, it could be hard. So you go minus when you want to go into a low gear, like hill climbers mode or standard, and you go plus when you want to go up to sport mode, which is the biggest cog. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe this taught you a little bit on shifting, and maybe now if you had problem with shifting, you now got it. And if you found this video helpful, please leave it a like. And if you want to see more of my videos, make sure to subscribe and turn on bell notifications. If you have any suggestions, please leave it in the comment section down below. I'm David GJ9, signing out. Bye!